Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. So far in this series, I have illustrated a general process by which indefinite life can come about. Now, I'm going to explain why indefinite life will become increasingly accepted over time, and when human beings achieve indefinite longevity, the predominant mass of public opinion will come at least to be in favor of it, if it will not be in favor of it already at that time. But essentially we have every possible selection process on our side. Now, think about what is going to happen as human beings achieve increasingly longer lifespans and achieve indefinite life. One great fortunate thing we have in our favor is that most people recognize that curing particular diseases is a good thing. There's overwhelming support, for instance, for fighting cancer or fighting heart disease, which is excellent. I'm very glad to see a lot of resources devoted to that, and a lot of attitudinal support devoted to it as well. So when these problems are cured or mitigated, nobody's going to object or complain. And even if somebody does object or complain, he will be seen as insensitive or immoral. So, as a result, as life expectancy increases, most people are not going to mind. The ones who do mind will be marginalized as being on the fringe. Now, this will continue up until the point when indefinite life is attained. At no point in time is there going to be a discrete choice that society as a whole can make between human beings living their current finite lifespans or living forever. There's no magic button that can be pushed or not pushed to make that happen. There's no magic elixir that will be developed at a single discrete point in time. Which means, essentially, that those who resist the prospect of indefinite life extension will follow one of two ways. Either they will gradually be coaxed into accepting it. After all, people may, in the abstract, talk about the great benefits of death, or the natural nature of death, or how death might ultimately be desirable, or how an afterlife might ultimately be possible. But most people, at least, when they're faced with an immediate peril, an illness, an injury, they want to get treatment. So, as a result, they'll take advantage of the new treatments that are available. Most of the people who in the abstract praise the existence of death are going to go in for cancer treatment if they get cancer. So, gradually, they'll get used to the abundance of these treatments, and even if they in the abstract still continue to praise death, they'll now say, well, it's natural to die at 120, or, well, it's natural to die at 200, or it's natural to die at 500. Remember, in the past, these same people, had they been alive, would have said it's natural to die at 40, or at 60. So, as a result, the vast majority of people who currently see some kind of redeeming qualities in death are going to be at least coaxed into accepting increasingly longer lifespans. Now, furthermore, those who do not accept increasingly longer lifespans, of course, will be under no compulsion to personally accept these treatments. Indeed, today, patients have the right to refuse medical treatment. That will remain a fundamental right for them, even if I regret, for instance, that somebody did not choose to live longer. I believe that if we treat them as free human beings, they are entitled to make that choice. So, those who don't want to extend their own lifespans, those who think that it's time for them to go to God in heaven, will have that choice, and they will die. And those who don't think that way will live on. So there will be a selection process, whereby the people who are more likely to support, or at least acquiesce to indefinite human life extension, will be the people who are left. to form the climate of public opinion. Now, it is true that sects of individuals could form very much like the Amish today, who refuse the benefits of modern technology, and they pass this philosophy on to their descendants. So, for instance, I might be alive indefinitely, you might be alive indefinitely, and we could observe 50 generations of these people coming and going and being born and dying, all without accepting these increasingly better treatments. But there's always going to be attrition in each generation, because even today some of the Amish children want to join modern, technologically developed society. So likewise, each subsequent generation of these fanatics who resist indefinite life extension will be diminished, and eventually their numbers will dwindle down into insignificance. So as a result, we have the selection processes of technological growth and the natural incentives that come about due to human life extension on our side. The only real way, the only very disturbing way in which the opponents of human longevity can stop us is either by completely cracking down on further medical research, which would be opposed overwhelmingly, or initiating some kind of purge or holocaust or mass extermination of people who support indefinite human longevity, which would also be almost universally understood to be barbaric and intolerable. It's very grim that the Holocaust had occurred and that the genocides of the 20th century had occurred, but at least I hope that human beings in general have learned something about the dangerous trends that lead up to such atrocities. And most people, I think, will recognize the warning signs if a movement of that kind ever arises, and the vast majority of human beings will be opposed to it. So the only way to really stop the advent of human longevity is to begin massively exterminating human beings. And I don't think that such a plan is going to succeed. Of course, historical events and future events are contingent. There's no necessary law that says that things are going to happen a certain way. So we still have to remain vigilant, and we still have to combat the fanatics who would coercively restrict the extension of human lifespans. But if we can manage to keep these fanatics at bay, progress and the work of those individuals who are devoted to human life extension will do the rest.